Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Blackwell. I'll be with you for the course of the summer for Community Behavioral Health 5200, Social and Behavioral Foundations of Public Health. And if I could just take a couple minutes, I sent the syllabus out early. Of course, we may make some changes upon that, and some of that will be dependent upon you. But if we can just take a moment to kind of go over a couple of things, that this will help us be prepared for the summer. And I'm looking forward to this. This will be a good class. I have sent out emails, and I didn't get any. I got response from one person that I wanted that it was okay to extend the class. And the reason for this, when you take a look at the syllabus, you're going to see there's a lot of work to be done, and I think that you would be better off processing this, having a little bit extra time to do that. Of course, if you want to work ahead, you're welcome to do that. But I did want to make sure that, because this is an important foundational or a core class, that you be able to see and better just to process and to understand. So that's the reason. So the session, let's take a look at our syllabus if you don't mind. Of course, you'll have access to the site here. Of course, you've all had classes before, so this will not be a big stretch for you. So if we can take a look at the syllabus, of course, it's our guidelines, and of course, any changes that are made, I'll go ahead and do an updated version of that and let you know about that. And then also, of course, let you know if any changes have been made. Of course, I'll be using Desire to Learn on that, and of course I can let you know that on the news section as well too. So the session itself starts on June 3rd, and hope to wrap this up by July 26th, and so this will be online. And again, if you want to work ahead, you're welcome to do that. You can take a look at the things that are required for what we're going to be doing for the class. I just think that having a little bit extra time will be helpful to you there. Of course, it's online only, and I'm your instructor. You can take a look here. You can see where I'm located here. I'm up in Lamb Hall, 3rd floor, in room 306. I'm happy to take appointments. If you are here on campus, we can do that. You can make an appointment to come here and meet with me. You can reach me by phone. Email is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me, as I'm not on campus a whole lot during the summer, and so leaving a message here is fine, but I've got to be here in the office to pick that up. Now, one of the things that I did put out there, we have switched from WebEx, which was what we had used before if we wanted to have a synchronous time where the students could kind of meet and have discussion as a group or even with me, but that is going away as of June the 1st. And so typically for summer session classes, because of the way your schedule is working, or because of vacation, or because of time zones, some of you are in different time zones, that it's been a challenge in the past to get people to be able to meet up with each other. But if you want to do that, I am open to that. And so be thinking about this. And so if you want to do that, say if once a week or once every 2 weeks, if you would want to have a time where I'm available on here where you can log in and ask questions or have a discussion or do a lecture, we can do that. So be thinking about this. Your required text, of course, that's listed out there. I did send this in the email. So the Essentials of Health Behavior, Social and Behavioral Theory in Public Health. Make sure that what you are using is the 2nd edition. 3rd edition is a good edition, but it doesn't follow precisely what we've had out there. Now, for those of you who are close by, a used copy in the bookstore might be an option for you. And for the rest of you, you might be able to find this out as the 2nd edition. We also have the Theory at a Glance. This is also listed out there in detail. You can actually download this. This is a really good piece of document for literature. And so we've used this, since 2005, since it came out. And so you can see this, it's posted on detail. And of course, you'll have some other readings that are out there as well. And as you take a look through the syllabus, you'll be able to see that we're going to be talking a lot about theory, a lot about social determinants, and theoretical models and construct as they relate to performing program evaluations and maybe even conducting some research into some of those health behaviors. You can take a look here. There are some learning and competencies that we here in the MPH core concentration are using. So you can look at these. There are a lot of different things that we are trying to cover, and you will be able to see with your particular competencies and objectives, you can see the major course assignments, the assessments, the learning objectives that go along with that. So I hope that that might be helpful as well too. So beginning on page 4, you can see the class outline here and how we're going to go. I am a big user of D2L, so this has all been loaded in Desire to Learn, and the calendar should be correct. I have been known to make mistakes before, so if you see it, send me an email and I'll get that corrected for you and let everybody know about that. But as you can see, the modules and the dates where we will begin to discuss these are listed out here. So for example, module 1 and 2, beginning on June the 3rd, we will list here some of the things that we're going to be looking at: introductory matters, critical reasoning, social and behavioral foundations of health. There's also the competencies that are listed along with that, and then also your reading assignments. I do think it's rather hard to get a lot out of the class or to actually pass the class without actually reading the text. The text is not difficult whatsoever. I think I have mine here. Hold on. Yeah. The text is not difficult. It's pretty concise. Not a whole lot of fluff in there, but you know, use this. This is good information to have, and if you will use this and keep up with that, I think you'll do well there. There are also some online readings. And then also after the competencies, learning objectives, the reading assignments, then anything that we're going to use to assess you. So for example, you have a discussion that is due on the 5th. This is easy. You're going to actually, let's see, what is it? Actually, I think it's different than what's in the syllabus. So see, there's an error already. So everybody's used to doing discussions. This is a small group, but some of you are probably familiar with one another, but some of you aren't. So let's take some time to introduce ourselves, but not go through the same stuff that you do for every other class. Let's make this interesting. So in the discussion post, you can say introduce yourselves, and we'll play a little game called Two Truths and a Lie. Not bad, huh? So if you'll do that, that's your first assignment. That's due, let's go back here. That's due on the 5th. Then you also have a learning assignment, which is due on June the 7th. And for that, you can look in your table of contents. I need to make this stuff available to you. Under your assessments, you've got, we'll talk some about the solution paper here. You've got a student presentation. Where are your learning assignments? Hold on. There it is. So you can take a look at the learning assignment 1, which is due. The activity is listed out there for you. What we would like you to do, the links are out there. There are 3 questions for this learning activity. You know, basing your responses on the material available through the website that's listed there, and you know, looking at the health rankings for states and peoples. We want you to specifically look at Tennessee, and based upon your critical evaluation, which you want to spend some time looking at this. You know, why do you think the top 3 public health problems facing Tennesseans in the coming decade? What are they? What's your rationale? And you know, when we are thinking about rationale, citation is always good, you know. So this is a graduate level class, so we're not looking just for opinions. We are looking for you to provide us with information, and that information should be cited as well. For purposes of the class, we are going to use APA format only. I think it's APA 6. There are some guidelines out there that you can look at, and also you can just Google that, and it's an easy thing to do that. So so we will want you to detail the indicators that are comprising the health rankings for states, and be sure to talk about the weightings that are used there. So you want to look at that. Talk a little bit about Tennessee, why they moved in the ranks, and then for whatever you think that the top 3 concerns are for Tennessee, just be able to justify your rationale. Citations, your textbook can be used, other source materials can be used. I look forward to taking a look at that. So you can look at that. And then also you will see that for the there's a rubric out there. There's 25 points possible for this, and this is what I'll be using to do that. So I hope that helps. Let's go back again to the syllabus. And there again on for the June the 3rd, there's also readings in chapters number 2. And so you will look at that. I hope to have a couple of videos out there in the next couple of days. It won't be full item, but we'll go over some high points on that. But if you do your readings, if you take a look at the slides that are available to you, those are the things that are important. And there are also some other ways that you can look at that. And then, of course, so modules 1 and 2 beginning on the 3rd, then we go to the 10th, and then we go to the 17th. There are 2 items that are due on the 17th. By the way, if you're looking out here, we'll talk a little bit more about this. Your solution paper, which is going to be a big thing. I tell you what, let's just let me go on straight to that because I think that'll help. So page 6, your major assignments and learning activities. Your discussion, we've already looked at that. We've got, there are 10 modules of reading under that and 4 interactive learning activities. So we'll look at that. Again, with your critical thinking skills, with how you respond, make sure that you're citing what you're looking for. We're looking for you all to see how you do with research. There's also one cumulative exam at the end of the semester, and so you can take a look at this. We're going to go off of the slides that we have, any kind of things that we talk about in class, and of course you'll want to prepare for that. The biggest thing that you will take a look at is that the solution paper. This is one of the reasons I wanted to extend this out, because otherwise you were going to be constantly writing, and so you have to have time to kind of process this information. I have to have time to take a look at your submissions and then give you some feedback so you can proceed forward. You're going to do a 6-page paper. Not big at all, and that does not include your title page. It doesn't include any appendices. It does not include your references. But what we will want you to do is you're going to do this in 3 installments. And so those installments are going to help you. We'll get you situated. Your first installment, you'll submit. You'll get feedback that will assist you in your second installment, your third installment, and then based upon edits that I make or they're not suggestions, so guidelines on what you need to change. You will submit a final product along with a logic model. So what we're going to ask you to do is to choose a specific population affected by a particular health problem and a theory on which to base an intervention that you're going to come up with. And so we can follow the guidelines that are listed there, but you're going to have 3 installments. And so your first installment, which is going to be due, which will be talking about what is your review of the problem, your statement of problem. Tell us about a health-related issue. Tell us why we should be concerned about it. Give us citations, give us statistics, all within a 1 to, I think, up to 2 pages. You can do that. You'll submit that. I'll give you feedback on that. Your second portion of that will be the review of a theory or theories that you propose to use for your intervention. That information can take the form of one theory, or some people will use pieces of one or more, which is fine. You're going to tell us how that theory has been used in similar circumstances. So you'll do some research there. The third part of your paper is going to be your proposed intervention, where you will take your statement of problem, your selected population, your theory, and you're going to devise an intervention. You'll also give us a logic model, which is also one of those nice things. So you'll get feedback on the third part of the paper plus your logic model. And then, regarding what you'll submit in the end is to, based upon the critique that you've got, you're going to submit a final paper where you're going to have everything in layout, and then you'll also have an additional, you'll have a little bit of extra space to do a conclusion. You're going to do all this through the Detail site. I cannot stress enough for you to plan ahead to do this. I do not accept late. Sorry, my phone. We don't accept unexcused late submissions. And so, this can really impact. So just make sure that you're looking at the timelines. And then also, in addition to that, after your paper, you're going to give us a presentation where you'll deliver a 15 to 20 minute presentation based upon the work summarizing your solution paper. And so this will be, you can use PowerPoint, Prezi. There are other ways that you can do that, but you are going to do this as a teaching tool to the rest of the class. And so, you can take a look at what's going on here. That's not correct, is it? So see, I need to make a correction here. It's not August the 4th, 2018. I will make that correction. And then you will also do a peer critique of that presentations that are out there, and I will divide you up. So I'll give you a specific one to take a look at so that we spread the love around on this. If you've got questions or concerns about proficiency in writing, you can contact the ETSU's Center for Academic Achievement. They're in the first floor of the library. They are wonderful resource people to kind of help you, whether it's writing style or citation or doing research or looking for articles. All those different things are out there. So when we're thinking, since this is an online course, just a couple of things to kind of keep in mind. Make sure you're following the timetable provided on the course schedule. So we really just want you to be able to follow that. There are divisions within the modules themselves. One is for critical content that we especially want you to take a look at. And then, there are also some additional information out there for additional exploration if you just get a wild hair and you want to follow up with that. You can contact me through telephone, email, or through office visit. Easiest way is probably to get me through email first, but we'll go from there. And you can also contact the Office of E-Learning. There's also a student help desk if you're having some difficulties with Desire to Learn. You can see here what the grade assignments are for the student evaluations. It's pretty much well laid out. There's 505 points possible, and how we've got that divided out. And of course your grading scale. I know this is an online class, but your attendance is, I do have to report that is kind of a mandatory thing. And so you're probably aware of this, but your instructors can take a look and see if you are accessing materials and how long you're being on there. So please, please be present. I think online classrooms can be very effective, but it puts a lot of impetus on the students themselves, as it's kind of a, I don't know, self-motivation on that. So help us with that. So be present, do your readings, be a part of what you're doing. Mental health is always something that we like to mention, because even though this is a summer class, this is still a graduate level class, and it can be very stressful at times. And so if you are finding it challenging, or if you are finding having some mental health issues, please consider contacting the ETSU Counseling Center. The information is listed out there. And then also, you are graduate students, and you would think that we don't need to have this kind of a discussion, but academic integrity is important, and you do have a role in preventing academic misconduct, whether through actions of yourselves or actions that you know about from other people. So help us with that. Cheating can take on many forms. There's plagiarism. There's all different kinds of things, and you would be surprised that this past spring semester, I had 4 instances that were reported to the dean's office regarding students and various forms of academic misconduct. So please just don't do that. Do your own work. Make sure you're citing sources that you're using. We're not expecting you to come up with this on your own. I mean, that would be kind of like reinventing the wheel. What we're asking is that you do your own work. If you have collaboration with other students in the form of a discussion, that's fine, but any type of work that you would submit needs to be yours, and it needs to be properly cited, and references need to be out there. We just help us with that, and so you can also take a look at that as well too. If you are a student with special services, I hope that you are receiving the services that you need through the Office of Disability Services. We are happy to accommodate additional just services that we need to do within the classroom setting, but we do need to know about it. And typically what that entails is that there is a form that needs to come to the instructor, and then I will do that. Inclement weather, well, we don't really need to worry about that. But there's lots of information out here. But since this is an online class, and maybe you've not had another online class before, maybe you're kind of used to this process, it's really easy for things to kind of get away from you. So please keep current. Signing into the class, emails, class discussions, news item. These are my primary ways of communicating with you. If you don't read announcements, if you don't take a look at the syllabus, if you don't follow the calendar, that's really on you, because it's not going to excuse you from the course requirements. Keep on track. Make sure that you're doing that by the due date so that you receive proper credit. And just from someone who's done this for a number of years, it always seems to happen that people who submit right on that deadline, whether it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes before the due date, something usually will go wrong. Maybe your internet service provider will go down, maybe Banner goes down itself, and that just creates a headache. So you can submit any time that the Dropbox is open, and so I would encourage you to do that. Please don't wait until the last minute to submit your work. It's very problematic. And for those of you on different time zones, just be aware that, of course, the dates and the time frames that we're looking at are all listed on Eastern Standard Time. And of course, I want you to keep in touch. If things don't make sense, I want you to contact me. We can talk on the phone. We can talk via email. If you're here on campus, we can do that. We could even try to do a Zoom meeting or something of that nature. I want you to succeed with what you're doing here. This is an important class. It's a lot to kind of digest, but it's good stuff. And so, if you need anything to clarify your assignments, questions, or, if there's information, please send all your assignments through the D2L Dropbox, because that's a way for me to keep track, and it's always there. So do that. When you submit items, make sure that your name is on that document. So, and also, the name of the document. So, because when I want to make sure that I'm looking at the correct document, I want to make sure that I'm giving back feedback to the proper student. That would be helpful. I'm trying to think of things right off the bat, but no, I just think if you keep current, keep on track, and keep me in contact, we can do a lot of things. So, nobody likes to go over the syllabus, but it's out there. Please use this, and of course I will be making some changes now because I already see something that's not correct, and I'll upload that again. So the copy that I sent you on email is already outdated. So questions or concerns, please contact me. Most of you I've had in class, a couple of you maybe not, and so I look forward to knowing more about you, and let's make this a good, productive class session, and I look forward to it. Thank you.